Welcome back, folks. Welcome back to the 2022 Queensland Open Lead Finals. We have the finals on this afternoon. Jason Witten here with you, coming to you live from Beta Boulevard. And we have the Open B female up on the screen right now, folks. We have 8 climbers ready to go out in isolation. The climbers have been in isolation for over 30 minutes now, 40 minutes. We've got 3 climbers finishing in equal first place. Hannah Sides, Alice Graham, Candice Cartier, all 2 tops in the qualifiers. Janice Moorcroft coming in number 3, Azua Stevenson, Ellie Pekalis, Beck Barnett and Michaela Roberts, folks, for the Open B female. So well done to those guys. We have now in the Open B male, Travis Anderson, all the way from Western Australia. As you saw, folks, we do have a few interstate travellers here. Massimo Bedoya from New South Wales, Dylan Burney, Chad Horton, Wing Chun Lung, Joshua DeMarco, Joel Oritz Domar and Joshua Gaudry. Queenslanders. 4 Queenslanders, 1 from Western Australia, 1 from New South Wales, 1 from Victoria and 1 from Tasmania. So well done, interstate travellers. Great to see you guys making the journey up here to Queensland as well for a bit of fun. Now in the Masters males, Duncan Steele, Tui Lahui, Scott Duncan, Paul Finch, Peter Waldeck and Gregory Hall, all from Queensland. And now we've got the Masters females, Emily Ames, Tina Colbier, Peggy Ko, Janelle Briggs, Helen Stubbs, Melinda Waldeck, Angela Stark, which is fantastic to see. And we've already had our para-finalist climb today, Eddie Sparks, the one and only. And it was great to see that happening also, folks. So there you go. We've got our qualifiers. And very soon we'll be kicking off. So stick around, folks. People are having a bit of a look at the climb. This is where all of the competitors get a chance to do a viewing of the climb ahead. This is a live on-site format where the climbers will be required to go back into isolation after this, and that will be it for them. One chance to have a good look at the climb ahead, commit it to memory, and go back into isolation ready for their turn. 8 finalists in each of the finals today. Not 8, I don't think, in the Masters females. We've got 7. And we've got 6 in the Masters males. 8 in the other 2 categories. 2 climbs under operation today. We have the red-purple combination on the left and the yellow on the right. There we go. So there will be a bit of alternation of each of the lead routes this afternoon. But I'm sure each of the climbers will be eagerly trying to commit the moves ahead to memory right now. And there's a bit of a surprise up in the roof. Maybe one of the team can focus in on the stalactite hanging from the roof. It's very reminiscent of an ice climbing competition, but it'll be exciting to see the climbers tackle that one today. I'll leave you with a little bit of background music for a few minutes, folks. This is just the climbers having a bit of a look at what lies ahead. All right, there you go, folks. Time's up for all of the climbers. That was the viewing time for them to commit these climbs to memory. The finals are starting soon. Open B and Open B Masters. And have a look at that. You can see the stalactite dangling from the roof. I think that's going to be super exciting to see the climbers on this afternoon. If we can get the team maybe to follow along from the bottom to the top, maybe we get down there and have a bit of a look ourselves, follow the route, starting down at the bottom of the yellow maybe, and we'll see how we go. Interesting looking climbing this afternoon for those on the Open B. Right, a little bit stiff on the bottom there, and the yellow heads off to the right. Some interesting looking featurist climbs, a few volumes. Doesn't get too tricky just yet, and then charges up on the right hand side and into that that really interesting stalactite there. I think this is going to be fun to watch, folks. I think everyone's going to enjoy that one. And then they charge across the chasm that is that large gap and find themselves finally in under the roof there. And there's a column on our left here, but if they cut to another camera on the other side, you can see that they will be moving themselves through, there you go, underneath the roof, finally making their way up the head wall, turn the lip, and then throw to those holes up there, way up on the top there. So there's your final manoeuvres as we come down. Pretty interesting looking climb. The red's got a similar style following up through that large overhang and into the roof. However, not as exciting as the yellow route here today. So there will be a bit of rotation through each of those climbs today, and we'll be starting real soon, folks. We'll have our first climber out in sequence. Back in a moment. All right, we've got our first competitor out, ready to go. Ladies and gents, looks like it's the Open B male. And that's Joel, I think it is. I think this is our first Open B male. Got his Queensland lead state titles T-shirt on with a look of concentration, ready to crush on his final later here today. All right, folks, we've got Joel off and running on his the first climber out today. And I'm joined by Zach, one of the route setters here. Welcome, Zach.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
Mate, always good to see you. Last time we hung out, it was good to chat to you about what you guys have done and set today. This yellow climb looks pretty interesting, up through the roof and into that stalactite hanging from the roof.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the most interesting lines, especially for Open B. They don't usually get some of the really cool stuff that A's get, so we're trying to give them something pretty unique for this comp.
Spice it up a little, and what do you think? How did you guys go in the qualifiers? You know, there was a fair few tops, but were you happy with the level of the setting? Tomorrow we're going to go step it up a notch in the A's, but today a little bit less pressure for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, we're pretty happy overall with how things ended up splitting. There was a fair few tops on the first qualifier, but the second one that you can kind of see in the right of frame there nicely split them that white.
It was a bit spicy, that one, wasn't it? Yep.
Yeah, very technical on the feet.
A lot of small holds and you know, some sequences for the footholds looked like it was it was the way it needed to be done.
Yeah, very delicate on the volumes. Lots of people slipping on those.
Yeah. Well, talk us through the yellow route that you guys set. You know, where does it get serious? Obviously, in the beginning, you know, warm them up a little bit, give a little bit of not too harsh to begin with, but I'm sure it's going to get going to get serious from here on in. Still a long way to go, actually. It's quite a long route.
Yeah, it's got quite a bit of distance to it, but he's just kind of hitting the point where it's going to start getting serious. So we'll see how he goes, but obviously they come out in the reverse order of where they qualified.
Yes,
so
upside down. Eight climbers in the Open B male. Joel finishing in 8th.
Yep, so we'll see how he goes, but this section here through these kind of slopey feature holds is pretty spicy, and you got to be a bit delicate on the feet. Getting a nice no hands rest there though.
Well, that's always a nice thing to find on the route. You know, you can make sure you recover. In the first little section, we're going to have our first female competitor out, Michaela Roberts, and they'll be climbing the purple, or the combination, which is the red and the purple today.
Yep, yeah, nice mixture of holds for them. Always fun to switch the sets up and get into the stalactite. We'll see. We'll see.
Here we go, and they'll be the first one to launch out across. Did any of the climbers sort of say, "What is that up there?" Like, did they? It's a bit more reminiscent of an ice climbing competition.
Yeah, definitely. Particularly, I think, on a few of the masters' faces, they come out and have a look at it and then just kind of go, what is that? And you can see that it moves around a little bit.
Yeah. Making sure it doesn't fall on your head, but we'll see how we go. Bit of fun. But again, there we go.
Yeah, let's see if he gets the clip that's just hanging there, just next to the stalactite.
He needs to clip that, folks, before he goes further than this. Isn't that correct? And there's a bit of some of the rules is like further than his feet. Maybe he's missed it. Maybe he hasn't noticed that clip.
Yeah, well, I mean, if he's missed it, if he didn't note that during his visualization, then yeah, what will happen is if he clips that next clip under the roof, and he hasn't got that hanging clip, he'll be called down.
And he's trying to clip that one right now, isn't he?
Noticed it, yep.
Well, there you go.
He's got it.
Hey!
Nice.
Well, he got in a more comfortable position there by the look of it for him anyway. Well, it didn't look that comfortable, but...
yeah, he's looking pretty strong there. I think maybe we should have made it harder, but, you know, we'll see.
There's still a bit to go. There's this head wall, and I saw when I was up there on the scissor lift, some of those holds up high look big, but they're not. There's not much on them to hold on to.
Yeah, no, the edges of them can be pretty bad. There's particularly the head wall. There's some really slopey stuff, and the head wall's actually got about a 15-degree incline.
Yes.
It makes a big difference when you're on it.
Need a little bit more power left in the tank for those slopey moves. We'll see how Joel goes here. He's moving quite nicely, and it seems like we might have already had Michaela come off the wall, so no top for her. This is an on-site format.
Yep.
One shot at climbing to the top. Now, tell the folks at home how the scoring works. Top to bottom.
Yeah, so the scoring is... So the primary scoring system is hold-based, so every handhold is marked as a single point. So every hand that you get is one additional point until you get to the top. If you clip the top anchors, then that's solid 99 points. Makes a big difference clipping those chains. Otherwise, it goes back to qualifiers and then back to time for the splits.
Yep.
But he's going strong now.
And he's enjoying it, Joel. Coming out, saving the best till last, and this is where I saw a few of these holds start to get a little bit average when it comes to the top of this, the top few moves. So he's been smart about where he clips from as well, and just making sure that he clips from.
Struggling a bit with that clip.
Yeah, well, and being efficient in this section is important, coming from underneath the roof and sort of turning onto the head wall.
Yeah, you should be starting to feel the pump at this point. If he isn't, then he's a lot stronger than...
Well, I think right now we're starting to see that that stuff kick in, and maybe those slopey holes at the top there. They look big, folks. They look big, a little bit mean, actually. Like, oh, yeah, that's a good hole to grab onto, but it's not as big as you want it to be. But Joel trying to get something here. Nice little drop knee
there,
and a bit of flexibility there. I'm aching just watching him do it. Move. The crowd's getting behind him. His endurance is showing out here. He certainly knows this is his only go. So let's see how he goes. Oh, well, there we go. Good job.
Great effort, yeah.
Good effort. No top four. No top for Joel, but an absolute solid, a solid climb right there. So we shall see how we go with the next few coming out. We've got Beck Barnett and Josh Rigordi.
Hopefully not quite as well from a root service perspective. We don't want too many of the Bs getting to the same point and too many tops.
Well, time will tell right now. There's not much you can do about it now.
Nope.
No, so we just sit back and hopefully relax, but we shall see Beck Barnett out on the wall, and she did pretty well in qualifiers. She got one top and did pretty well on the second. The second ones were a little bit stiffer for both the male and the female, so split them in the field at that point in time. We didn't get a chance to have a look much with Michaela on the previous session, but I might find a little bit of time here while we waiting for the next male out, which is Josh Rigordi. You can always see, folks, there's always a belayer at the bottom, ready to fly into action, and sometimes they do fly.
That they do.
Yeah.
Some pretty good falls today.
We did have a one or two. There was a little bit of a little head bump there in one of the qualies, but nothing too serious, which was good news. So, but it can get
Yep.
Well, that was just a foot slip. She was looking pretty comfortable, but just
those can get you. I mean, it all comes down to the one climb on the day, and sometimes you'll have a little foot slips. We saw a few of those in qualifiers on the white, on the volume.
Oh yeah, that caught a few of them.
Yeah.
There's always that there's that real balancing act, especially with some of those slabs of the idea of having enough weight on your feet, but then being able to pull enough on your hands, you know, and just making sure you find that balance, and it's difficult. Just like that, your foot can pop off at any time, and often when you don't want it to, that's for sure. So welcome, folks. Good to see a few of you guys online. Give us a shout out in the chat. Tell us where you're coming in from. We had the qualifiers earlier today. I'm joined by one of the route setters, Zach, here, and you're watching the finals. Open B female and Open B male. Later on we'll have the Masters, female, Masters male. But right now we're going to have our next climber out, which is Joshua. We've had our two females out now. No tops for those guys, unfortunately. And Zach and I will sit here holding our breath to see how high Joshua gets on this one.
Yeah, I mean, he did really well in the qualifiers. Honestly, he was one of the people that had a foot slip on the top of the second qual. I thought he was going to top it, so he could come out pretty strong on this one, or maybe he won't perform as well in the roof.
It does, you know, often with the lead climbing, you're always setting, well, the majority of setting in the finals is through a roof or a steeper section. It was probably a little bit surprising for some of them today to be on a slab for one of their lead climbs, but it was good to see it spiced up a little bit in that sort of section.
Yeah, well, I mean, each climber has their own kind of style, so giving them a variety of different qualifiers with different styles is a good way to split the category fairly.
because you have some climbers who train like beasts in the roof, and then you have some who are very good on the small, thin stuff, and it's good to spice that up. Do you keep that into consideration when you're setting just one of the finals today? You want to try and have a little bit of all of it in the final, or you know, what's the inspiration for how you set the finals?
Yeah, definitely want to try and get a bit of everything and give them a few different challenges. So obviously, like with this yellow, we've got a nice bit of stemming and slopey stuff and techie foot slip there. Like this kind of techie foot stuff, and then we got through the roof. It's pretty good holds, but it's fairly powerful, and you've got to do a lot of twisting and turning.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely try to give them a variety so we can hit on different weak points for different climbers.
Different strengths, different weak points. Well, let's see how he handles this stalactite through the roof. Not quite sure about where he's at and what he's going to do. And he's moved past that clip back there. Now, okay, well he can reach back and clip it, as long as he's not past it or has clipped the next clip. Is that correct?
Yeah. So as long as your feet aren't above the clip, which is easy to tell on a vertical wall.
Yes.
Or yeah, it's like out of reach. I think you are allowed to down climb, but you're only allowed to down climb like one move or whatever to try and reach a draw if you climb past it.
Yep. Yeah, there was a little bit of interesting thoughts. We had to do the replays just to have a look in the qualifiers, but it worked out okay for a clipping. So it's mostly a safety issue, really, isn't it? At the end of the day, it's part of the process. It's not really part of the climbing per se. Oh,
he's off.
He's off. Well, Zach's smiling here now. He feels a bit better. Well, it looks like Joel kept his best till last today and showed up pretty nicely. Josh, you're doing satisfactory. That was still a pretty good effort there. Well, 3/4 into the route.
Yeah,
maybe
he
even 2/3.
He climbed well, but obviously his endurance ran out.
And it looks like we might have Ali Pukalis up on the women's final here. And
yeah, interesting to see how she goes. We've had a fair few lower falls on the
women's one.
Yeah, compared to the men's. So just
there
off
you
on
go.
those volumes as well.
Now, one of the organisers was saying we might be switching some of the leads, or is it all female on the left and all male on the right? And is that for today?
Yeah, for today it's all female on the left, all male on the right for both Bs and Masters.
Yep. Tomorrow, different kettle of fish. We've got plenty going on tomorrow. There's, I think, another 20 or 30 competitors for tomorrow as well.
Yeah, I think there's at least, 22 or so in Open A male,
yep.
and I think probably between 15 to 20 for Open A female.
Should be a good day. Any of the state champions, or who's the strong climbers for tomorrow's lineup?
Well, we've got a few. There's a decent amount of big names. I think from the Open A male, we've got Jesse Ruffini, Alexander Chavosky, a few others. There's definitely a lot of strong competitors in Open A male and female. For females, Clea Hall, Ashley. There's definitely, those are some of the ones that just immediately come to mind that I remember from reviewing our sheets, but there's a lot more. It'll definitely be a big competition.
A lot more in the lineup, that's for sure. Yeah. Well, we've got on the wall now Massimo, and Massimo did well. He topped in good style the second qualifier as well. So he got 2 tops in the qualies.
Yeah, hopefully this will be a nice challenge for them, but there's definitely a few competitors from Open B that I reckon could compete up in Open A and still do well for themselves.
Might need to get a bit of an invite. How do you, is it a self-selection process, or do you get passed on through? How does it work?
So at least initially it is a self-selection process. There's advised grades. If you're climbing this difficult, you should go into this category roughly. But if you win, say, Open Bs, then you should move up to Open As pretty much.
Yeah, the next one you should move on up, which makes a lot of sense. And then the Masters is 40 and over, isn't it?
Something like that, yep.
Yep. Don't want to give people's ages away, but as part of it. But Massimo looking pretty comfortable. He's moving not too fast, not too slow, kind of Goldilocks range, and looking fairly strong so far. A couple of little foot slips early, but nothing too serious.
Yeah, watching him in the qualifiers, he seems like a fairly technical climber. He seemed to have pretty good control and mostly be pretty smooth in his technique and movements, and he was doing some nice heels and toes to keep his balance.
Always keeping, we saw on the white one, it was quite easy to lose that third point of contact on the wall and end up with 2, and the moment that was 2, it was you were off, so,
Yeah, I mean, it was watching Josh Gaudry from earlier doing the top flip. He only had 2 points of contact, and he was just throwing a big flag with his right foot, and he managed to get a clip. It was very impressive.
Impressive indeed. And now we have Azua Stevenson, and she's out and about on her final climb of the day.
Yeah, let's see if she can get past the volumes that have been sticking up the other competitors.
See what we can do. We've got an all Queensland lineup for the females, and the males, we've got a bit of a mixed bag here. We've got some from WA, and we've got some from Victoria, and one from Tassie as well, one from New South Wales. So the male finals, a little bit different to the female finals when it comes to where they're from, but irrelevant of where they're from, folks, we're going to see some great climbing here. And Massimo still looking very comfortable. I think he moved across that stalactite probably in the most comfortable way that we've seen so far. This is where the females have been just getting stuck, and she's missed out that kind of terrible hole. It's more like a foothold than a handhold, that one there, and just like leave that one alone and find something a bit bigger to hang on to.
Yeah, it's all about wrapping with that kind of edge of the volume to make that hold good, because it is a pretty bad hold, but on the volume, it's doable.
Well, there you go. And the volumes, folks, you can see in the roof here or on the walls, which are sort of triangle, the black sort of shapes. They are very popular now with all of the setting, and they bring a great dimension to these things here. But we're seeing Massimo looking very good. But this is where Joel got a bit stumped before. Looks like it might be a bit of a strong move in and around turning this lip.
It's a big. That hold on the right there is a crimp with a bit of an in-cut, but still pretty rough. And then the other one's a big sloper, and it's a powerful move to
get to the next one.
To force yourself over.
Well, there we go. I think we might have had our high point at this point from Azua right there on the females, and very nice.
There we go.
Yep. A little bit of flexibility needed here. Just might have needed his foot just a little bit higher on the right, but we'll see how he goes. He's going to try and clip from that point.
Yep.
Wow, and he's in. That's some strength right there, folks. Just pressing out on the shoulder. Let's see how Massimo gets through this section here, and there's some smart climbing now. Just one transfer left.
He's got this foot, he'll probably have it. Can he hold it? Yep. Yeah, I think he's got it. Yeah.
Well, he looked in control the whole way.
Yep.
So a top for Massimo. and takes the position 1 early. But we've still got a few climbers to come, folks. We've still got 5 more in the Open B male, and we have another 4 in the Open B female category. You're watching the 2022 Sports Climbing Queensland Open lead titles coming to you from Beta Boulevard here in Logan, just outside of Brisbane. Fantastic venue. Big shout out to those guys. Thank you to Sports Climbing Queensland and our key sponsor, Pinnacle Sports. Always great to have fantastic sponsors. We wouldn't be able to put these on without great sponsors, folks. And Pinnacle Sports is one of those. So partway through, a few more to go.
Yep, and hopefully we'll see some tops from the women, and hopefully we won't see any more from the men.
Yes. All right, folks. Well, back in a minute while we have a little break. See you soon. All right, here we go. Back at it here, folks. Janina Moorcroft, ready to give her final climb. Her finals climb. A good whirl, and she did well in the qualifiers. Let's see how she goes. Seems like the females' route has been a little bit stiff when it comes to the finals, and maybe the males is a little bit more, a little bit less stiff in comparison, folks. Well, we'll see how Janina goes. We've got the judges, the belayers, everyone there. The judges got a stopwatch in. Folks, as you may have heard before, if you were listening to Zach had to pop down just to quickly see what was going on with some of the things he's in charge of here today. But we're talking about how the climbs scored and tallied. What do the judges do? Number one, they have a timer. They time how long it takes to climb up the wall to the top. The destination is the top, folks. You start at the bottom, you climb to the top. How does it work along the way? Each handhold is worth a point. And that they're cumulative, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if you get to a handhold moving positively towards the next one, it's called a plus, but you don't get to it. If you do get to that hold, then obviously it's the next number up. If the climbers get to the same hold, well, how do you score or split the field? Well, it comes down to either a count back to qualifiers and then a time if someone climbed it faster or slower. So that's how it works. Pretty straightforward, but it's a great sport to be watching. We have, folks, the lead climbing that you're watching right now. If anyone at home doesn't know too much about the different types of climbing, we've got speed, we've got lead, and we've got boulder when it comes to the competition circuit. And the lead climbing you're watching today, this is the Queensland Open lead titles. Jason Whitten here with you, coming to you live from Beta Boulevard, just outside of Brisbane and Logan. great little venue. And you're watching Janina Moorcroft. Oh, so close. And I think she might have actually reached might have been the high point in the females competition so far. We still have 3 more to go, folks, in the Open B female. The men are moving a little bit slower. And we've got 5 more to go. Over there on the males now, working on through, we have Travis Anderson underway. Travis did well in the qualifiers, 2 tops in the qualifiers. Let's see how he goes with this one. Had a top just now from Massimo Bedoya. He climbed very well in the qualifiers and absolutely fantastically just now. And Travis making good progress into the stalactite in the roof. You can see it wobbling around, which I think is awesome. Great to see some exciting different styles of climbing. And just making sure he clips in the correct sequence, folks. It's a safety process, but it is part of lead climbing, making sure you do it in the right way. Making that transition across through the roof fairly well. Wouldn't say as clean as Massimo over there, but maybe getting a little bit of a pump right now. We'll see how Travis goes through these next few parts. It's quite a steep overhanging section and a pretty stiff manoeuvre to come around the head wall. This is where it's caused a little bit of grief for a couple of the climbers prior to him. We'll see how he goes. But looking reasonably in shape at the moment. Maybe his hands are a bit twisted up here for the sequence, but got himself out to that large hold on the lip, which is good. He's got to be careful that his foot doesn't hang on those, on that clip there. Just looking, this one's a bit of a challenging turn of the lip. Getting a bit of a pump, I think, but if he can get himself into a comfortable enough position, he could get a rest or a reasonable rest. And I don't know if he knows that he can put his foot out over on the big grey column there, but we'll see. Travis doing a nice bit of a drop knee, making things, and Travis is down. No top for Travis. Massimo looking good, and we've got now out on the wall, we've got Candice Cardia. Candice did very well in the qualifiers, so the females Open B finals route has proven to be a little bit stiff in this section here. We'll see if Candice can move on through this section and show us a little bit of what lies above that first section there, where you've got those volumes, those black volumes covered in chalk, black and white. Unfortunately not to be for Candice. And 2 more climbers to go, Hannah Sides and Alice Graham. Let's see if we can get some further action beyond the high point from those guys. But in the meantime, we'll go to a quick little break. All right. A little bit of controversy here maybe, or we're getting ready to do this next climb. Who have we got here? I think that's... Oh, no. Sorry, that was Candace. Just getting that sorted. Now we got our next male competitor out, Josh DeMarco. And these next few competitors all had 2 tops in the finals, folks. And let's see what lays in store for Josh. Now we've got 4 more competitors to go in the Open B male. The Open B female going a little bit faster. Next out for those is Hannah Sides. Okay, well, there you go. You got 8 minutes to climb to the top, folks. In the finals, you have a little bit of a time frame. All right, sorry about that, folks. Back now. And we have Josh. Slowly but surely making his way forward up the route. Looking fairly solid right now. But we do know it doesn't really get started, folks, until he pulls out onto that stalactite, and that's where the rubber meets the road. Per se, or the rubber meets the climbing hold, let's say, up there in the roof section. But still, it's not an easy part, the lower section either. You've got to make sure you don't underestimate what's going on in this lower section of the climb. Not looking as comfortable as Massimo did through that section, but still making good progress. Joshua making sure he doesn't rush it. We've got our next climber out, Hannah Sides, for the Open B female. Hannah did very well in the qualifiers, 2 tops. Let's see if we can see a little bit better progress from Hannah on the red climb here. Joshua over there, delicately getting himself in position and ready to go. Everybody still a bit stumped with what to do when it comes to this big stalactite in the roof, but Josh making sure he gets his clips in order just to make sure that it works and things are looking good. Making the transition pretty nicely. Not too much fuss, and he can still reach that clip out there in the roof fairly easily. So now the work begins, Josh. And for the Open B females, Hannah almost in the high point for the Open B females at the moment, trying to find the right foot placement for this move. Not quite sure what to do next. Yeah, and now she's got that piece, which is good news. Crowd getting behind her. Oh! So, the crux of the low crux for the females, stopping them in their tracks. But I think Hannah is probably made one of the high points so far. Joshua finding his way to this large hold on the lip, but it's not as big or as comfortable as you want it to be. These next few moves, they've got a bit of a sting in the tail, folks. Let's see if Josh has got what it takes in the tank. Thanks, Lisa. Hopefully, yeah, we do the split screen when we have the female climbers out, Lisa. No problem. Thanks for the shout out. Great to see you. Yeah, that icicle hanging from the roof is crazy. I hope they leave it up. I might get my gear out a bit later on and have a go. I think that'll be a lot of fun. Our next female climber out in a moment will be Alice Graham, and she'll be the final female for Open B females. It's all still to play for, folks. We don't have many high achievements on this Open B female route as of yet. But we've had one top on the males, but Josh is hanging out his. He's camping out on this hold. He's been here a while, trying to make this work and trying to work out what he can do. It seems maybe, just maybe, Travis was maybe similar to Josh here. Maybe they don't realise that they can use the grey hold on the right-hand side, or the grey wall on the right-hand side. But let's see how he makes progress, if any, from this point. Just trying to make sense of it all. I don't think he's noticed that or realised that he can actually use the grey wall on the other side. So that's part of the route setting or the route running, folks. When you get a chance to do the viewing of the route setters and the judges will explain what you can use and what you can't use. I'm quite sure they would have pointed out that you can use that. Sometimes in all of the stress and pressure of what's going on, oh, and he's off. Joshua not finding a top. And one final climber for the Open B females. About to go. And we have a few more in isolation waiting to come out. We've got Dylan Burney, Wing Chun Lung, and Chad Horton, all for the Open B males. 3 more to go. This is our final climber, Alice Graham. Alice getting to, a pretty good point. Just taking her time to eye this up, because quite a stiff piece of climbing. Low down on the Open B females, and let's see if Alice can unlock the sequence when it comes to moving through here. Looking very comfortable at this point. So let's hope that she can get this next move going. This is the one that's been stumping a few of the competitors. She's looking very comfortable so far, and I would say yes, well, looks like we might have our new leader, folks, and we'll see. Yeah, she can move through this section here. Fantastic. Good job, Alice. A little bit of a stiff crux low, folks, but I'm pretty sure you're looking at the winner of the Open B females, and they do come out in reverse order, folks. Coming out first is the 8th finisher, coming out 8th, which is the last climber, is the first finisher of the qualifiers. So you would expect that Alice has got something special to show us, and certainly right now she's putting on a bit of a show for the crowd and also for you guys at home on the live stream. Good job, Alice. And there you go. Well done. Good job. So think Alice has made the high point. Other than any appeals or anything that might happen, I think Alice has taken it out here today in the Open B females. But stand by, we will have some live updated scores as we go. And we could probably go to the scoreboard in just a moment and see that. But right now, we have one of our final climbers from the male, and that is Dylan Burney, ready to go. He came in with a couple of tops yesterday, or not yesterday. Gee, it's not that far behind just yet. He came in with a couple of tops in the qualifiers. And I think Alice there, pretty happy with her climb this afternoon. The crowd getting behind Dylan. Let's see what he's got in store for his final climb of the finals today. One and only final climb. It is an on-site, it's an on-site process, folks. On-site, which means you don't get to climb and practice. It's your first go at climbing is an on-site climb. What does happen is you get a chance to come and view. You would have seen at the beginning of the live stream that you would have been able to view, the climbers were viewing the climb. Well, Zach is back. Zach, how did you go, mate? I mean, it's not too bad, but the few of the fellas, I think what I've been noticing, maybe some of the men haven't noticed that they could use the grey wall by the look of it, maybe.
Yeah, that was definitely the case with the last climber, because I was down there next to the judges. He came down and asked whether he could use it.
No.
They said yes, and he was slapping himself. I think that shows a bit of a experience difference between the A's and the B's.
Yes.
Because in any A climber, if they're unsure, they just call down and ask the judges, because you can ask the judges all kinds of relevant things
as
at
you're
any
climbing
point in time. Yeah.
or beforehand, right? Yep.
Yeah. So you saw we had one person ask whether that clip was in, because you only have 6 minutes to complete the climb, so you can find out how much you're into your time.
Yep.
So if he just called down and asked, he might have been able to get that top, but that's a competition experience.
Well, that is it, isn't it? Because there's if you start out climbing, you don't get that many comps under your belt. But well, it's a lesson that he'll remember today. But he did pretty well. He got up into that large hold on the lip, which seems to have gotten a few people stuck there.
Yep, definitely gotten a few people caught there, but I mean, that's good. We wanted the head wall to be hard, and it's nice that we've only had one top so far.
Yeah.
Shame for the competitors, good for the setters.
Yeah, you're a bit nervous there at the beginning, but now you're feeling a lot better. And the females, that mid climb crux, got a few of them stuck, but we had Alice push on through, and she made the high point. Other than some appeals or whatever, it looks like she might be taking out the first place position. But how did you go with that one, the red one, the red purple?
Yeah, so it's kind of mixed. Would have been nice to see some of them get a bit higher, but on the other hand, it is shared with the Masters, and obviously there's a few people in the Masters category that are really strong. So we'll have to see how it kind of balances out once we see how high the Masters get up it.
Yep.
But it was good to see at least one of the Bs get past those volumes.
Yep. And tomorrow you guys are setting for the A's, male and female, but also I hear there's a bit of a social round as well.
Yep, yeah, social round. So casual climbing, 4 top rope climbs, nice for any level.
Looks like he's making good progress right now. Dylan moved on through that, and he's asking about it.
He skipped the clip. He's off.
Oh no! We were talking about that just thing, and under pressure, forgetting about the clips. I'm sure you know, in the viewing time, they would have been instructed, hey, those ones are on, and I saw that the rope was clipped in all of them. That's part of the process of the explanation, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly it, and that's another kind of competition experience thing, that when you come out in that viewing time, you need to not only be reading the route, but you need to be reading the clipping line.
Yes.
Because if you get up there and skip a clip, then that's the end of your climb,
Oh,
as disappointing as it can be.
And he was going well too there, so unfortunately, not for Dylan. But we do have our first Masters female out, Angela Waldeck. And let's see how Ange goes. Which few of the Masters should we be keeping an eye out for?
Definitely the ones that kind of came in the top. Tina and Emily have definitely been kind of the main two that we've been looking at in terms of the Masters for how strong they are. Both of them looked really comfortable on those qualifiers.
Yes. We'll see how they go, but a little bit of tidbit information. Angela is the social media coordinator for Sports Climbing Queensland. Big shout out to you, Angela. Thanks for all the work that you do. It's all unpaid. All of this stuff is volunteer for those guys. And what about you, Zach? You know, how many route setting gigs do you get throughout the year? Is it a full-time gig? Or is it part-time for you?
Yeah, it's one of my casual jobs. So I work in Beta Boulevard here as one of the route setters.
Got you.
So anytime you come in here, probably about half the routes are going to be mine.
Yep.
Along with the two other members of the setting team, one of which is also on the setting team for this competition, Victor, and is obviously on for the comp at the start of the year as well.
Yes. No, that's great to see, and it's good to see there's enough competitions for a bit of that as a profession to really start to take hold as well. So enough gyms and enough competitions really to make that awesome. But Ange is moving up pretty nicely here, getting underway.
Yep, it'll be interesting to see how she goes. She struggled a bit during the qualifying rounds, but hey.
The crowd's getting behind her. Maybe that's what she needs, a little bit of the adrenaline and support from the crowd, and that'll get her through.
Yeah, force of the cheers will lift her up the wall.
Come on, Ange. Yeah, when it starts to sort of change angles here, it really starts to get a little bit spicy, doesn't it? You know, the handholds are facing the wrong way, and not so much great feet on the opposite. So that's where it all starts to kick into gear.
Yeah, those next couple holds, the first one on the light green wall there is pretty good. It's got a decent in cut, but the third one is actually pretty flat. It's got a wide surface area, but not much give in behind.
Not as much as you want there, but Ange down early, but you know, having a lot of fun, and that's what this sport's all about, folks. You can see where you know, Dylan came off a little bit early because he missed a clip, but that didn't bother him too much. You know, he was like, "C'est la vie," and a bit of a smile, probably a bit annoyed, but you know, not too serious, which is great. And it's a good thing about you know, the sports climbing and the climbing community. Everyone enjoys themselves and has a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I mean, it's all about enjoying yourself. Everyone will encourage each other. Like, yeah, it's lots of mutual support.
Yeah, indeed, indeed. So, bit of a shout out to those online folks. Good to see all of you guys out there. And thanks, yeah, well done to Alice. Big shout out to her. Thanks for jumping on the live stream. We've got a few people on YouTube and a few people on Facebook, so thank you for joining us. We'll be live tomorrow as well, folks. Day 2 will be Sunday, and we will be doing the Open A's and the socials tomorrow, so up another level when it comes to the quality of the climbers, but the quality of the fun and the quality of the effort today is absolutely world class. Everyone having a great time. But now on the wall we've got Wing Chun, and he did really well in qualifiers actually. 2 tops pretty comfortably. So well, let's see how he goes with this one.
Yeah, it was definitely one of the competitors that we looked at and were like, oh, maybe you should be in age. You're pretty strong, but hey, we'll see.
See how he goes. And I'm sure, from what I could see, he climbed very smartly as well. So hopefully he knows about the sidewall at the top, and we might even see another high mark on this for the men's competitors. But again, if we get a couple of tops, it goes in count back first and then time to that position, right?
Yep. Yeah. So I believe the only other top that we've had on this one so far from Massimo, I don't think he topped the second qualifier. I'm not too sure on that one, but so could be that, yeah, on count back, if we get tops from Wing Chun or Chad that's after him, then might be a qualifier split.
Might be a qualifier split, yeah.
But it's a lot more fun if we just have one top.
One top and one winner. One clear winner, folks, but let's see. Wing Chun climbing so far, you know, pretty solidly. Yep. Starting to get a bit of the deep breathing going on. Always trying to keep yourself calm and not rush things before you get too pumped.
Yeah, resting, very important skill in climbing, to just get up there, take your time, get yourself comfortable and recover.
Starting to look a little bit stretched out here at the moment. He was climbing very comfortably there, and again, yeah, and there you go. That's asking down to the judges. Do I need to clip that one? Which makes sense. And smartly, I think, trying to clip the one prior. So we do have one of our other master female, Melinda Waldeck on the wall, and
and she's off. Wing Chun's doing some interesting cuddling with the volume there.
Well, he's looking pretty comfortable, to be honest. I thought I could see him getting a bit shaky there before, but now he's sort of settling in. Maybe some of this steep territory might be a bit more his style. He looks pretty fit and flexible.
Yeah, looks very strong on that heel there. I mean, he looks like he's just speeding through this roof now.
Well, I mean, that's probably a bit of the strategy too. You know, you don't want to be hanging around on your arms for too long, so get it done and dusted. You do see different climbers climbing at different speeds with different styles, and some more dynamic, some slower and a bit more precise, but, you know, whatever style suits, I suppose.
Yeah, there's definitely a balance to try and seek where it's a mixture of speed and precision.
Yep.
Oh, it's struggling with those feet around the rope. Come on.
There
we go. Flipping behind the leg.
Not, you don't want to fall off when you're doing that one, but he's arrived at this rather large hold, but I'm sure when you arrive there, folks, it's not as big as you want it to be for some of the climbers. And, okay. Well, then maybe too, he might not be considering the wall either.
No, it doesn't look like he is.
And he's off.
Pumped out energy.
Well, there you go, folks. No top there. We've only had one top at the moment, reasonably clear, and we've got one more to go for the Open B males, which is Chad Horton. So could be fairly clear for the winner. We've had a fair few people hit that last, or not the last, but that large hold on the lip and go for those next couple of holds. So there's a second and third might be a bit harder to define, but for the moment, one top, one winner. And Alice in the Open B female, a fairly clear winner when it comes to that. And it's been confirmed, folks, at this moment in time on the scoreboard. We have now out on the wall, Helen Stubbs. And she's going to give us everything she's got left in the tank for today and on her final climb. Let's see what she's got. We've got a couple more in the Masters females. We've got 4 more competitors there. And in a moment, folks, we'll be getting our first of our, or the last of our Open B male out. And then the first of the Masters male after that. Don't go away, stick around. We do have the podiums a little bit later on. Be fantastic to have you guys here supporting that as well for the climbers. Now, this is at the moment, I think, the high point of the Masters females. So that's good news for Helen.
Yep, struggling into that hold, but she's getting her position set.
Not a bad size hold, but again, it's sort of potentially not facing the way you really want it to. So you've really got to get the body position in place and know how to use this this volume on the way up. We saw Alice show us how to be done. Oh, old school, looking for a jam.
Yeah, I mean, you probably could in there. It's not the nicest rub, but it can definitely be done, and the volume itself is good enough that you could lay off it if you can utilize the feet well enough. There's a few different ways through this sequence.
All right, Helen just pumping out there, but well done. I think that's the high point so far when it comes to the Masters female. 4 more climbers to go though, and 1 final climber in the Open B male category. Still plenty of action, folks. All in all, another 7 or 8 climbers to come. We'll be back in a moment after this little break. All right, folks, we've got our final Open B male out at the moment. We've got Chad Horton, our final climber. He's looking a bit relaxed, having a bit of a fun, bit of a joke. But now he's getting his eye on the prize. He knows where he's got to go, knows what he's got to do. The next 5 to 8 minutes is going to count. Zach, you said it was 6 minutes or 8 minutes they've got to climb the route?
I believe 6 minutes to climb the route. I've never seen anyone take that long on a route. It takes a lot of endurance to
hang up there for 6 minutes, yes.
Yep. Yeah, closest I've seen was Sam Bowman quite a few years ago. Found a very nice gargoyle rest, and he was pulling out to ask about the time as he was taking it.
You can, if you do find a rest, you can take, as long as you like, but as long as you don't count the clock down and stay in position. That's really the point of the time frame.
Oh no! Oh. He's off.
Can he unclip?
No.
Oh, he's out.
Out.
Oh no! Tragedy. 2 technicalities in the Open B males, and maybe a little bit of confusion about the grey pillar in the middle.
Yeah, look, I mean, not exactly what we'd wanted, but it ended up making for a decent split in the end.
Indeed.
And, I know from watching when they were coming out, the instructions were given. They were told that the grey surface was in, all the clipping sequences were visible, so yeah, I mean, bit of comp experience, and perhaps we could have made some things a bit clearer during the briefings, but that's how comps go sometimes, and obviously once the competitors start coming out, they can't get any more information, not unless they ask about it.
Well, that's there you go, folks. it's all interesting times down here. And we'll have a look at the results in a minute, but of the Open B male, Open B female. But right now, on the wall, we've got our next competitor, Janelle Briggs. Little bit of information about Janelle, folks. Janelle has competed every year, as far back as the president of the Sports Club in Queensland can remember. So that's many years. And another little bit of tidbit about Janelle: she makes jams and chutney, sells them for charity, taking care of kids in other places. So not only a fantastic climber, a foundational climber in the comp scene, but also an all-round good human. So fantastic to see that that stuff. And Janelle's sort of moving into this stiffer section here, when which has shut down a few of the previous climbers. We'll see. Not too far from a high point in the Masters females, so we shall see how she can make this work. And actually looking pretty comfortable right now. Oh, there you go. Knee bar. I love it.
I was waiting for someone to do it. You could see some of the bees trying for it,
yeah.
But there we go.
Nice comfy knee bar. Just gave her that little bit of extra friction on the wall just to get a little bit more comfortable for that clip. And lining up maybe for this next move. Big move. Oh, well, we've found a new high point, I think, on our Masters females. Oh,
just off.
Pumped out a little bit. Well, there you go. A little bit of maturity when it comes to finding that knee bar, and just every little bit of energy saved is a bit saved for the next move. So good to see that happening. But a bit of drama in the Open B male. We had two technicalities. Unfortunately, two technicalities. As we go. And the only one I remember getting the top was Massimo, but at this point in time, he's not showing up. So there might be something going on there, folks. We'll have to find out. At the moment, on my screen, it says Travis Anderson is in first place for the finals, but we have to wait and see on that one, folks. Open B female in first place, Alice Graham, Azua Stevenson, and let's chuck the scoreboard up there. Alice Graham looks like got the high point, and Azua Stevenson coming in second, and Hannah Sides coming in third. You can see that, folks, for each of the climbers. That's the position so far. There will be a time later on, folks, for some appeals. An Open B male at this point in time. We'll come back to that in a moment, but we have our first competitor in the Masters male, Gregory Hall, out on the wall. And let's see what Gregory can do. In the Masters male, is there any strong climbers in here that you think might give it a bit of a nudge? Zach?
Yeah, I mean, definitely Duncan Steele has been one of the main competitors. One of the other ones that we were looking at, Rob Saunders, hasn't ended up turning up today.
Yeah, Rob's been around forever and a day. I remember him back in my day.
Yeah, exactly. So we're expecting him to be out, and he's quite a strong climber as well. So those are probably two of the most notable ones. But there's definitely some other strong competitors in there.
Right now, Gregory Hall sporting proudly his lead T-shirt and looking very stylish up on the wall. And let's see how he makes his way through this section here. Certainly a little bit stiffer than the qualifiers for all the competitors.
Yep.
And these big voluminous holes are, well, they're fantastic. They look amazing, but there might not be as many holes on there as you want, folks. So a little bit trickier to navigate.
Yeah, not at all. You reach out and grab that big hold there, and there's a nice dish in the bottom. There's a little thin rail along it, and then the whole right half of it is pretty much nothing.
It's all for show, and there's nothing to go.
Yeah, exactly.
But Greg doing pretty well here. Starting to get the shakes, though. We can see a little bit of a puffing, and the elbows come up. As soon as you see those elbows come up, or the knees or the arms starting to shake, you're probably getting close to seeing someone pop off the wall. But you do get some competitors can fight through that stuff pretty nicely. And Greg, if he gets around this corner, he might even find that rest and rest up a little bit. But just got to do this next move, which is a big move in that left shoulder, actually.
Yeah, fairly powerful, and obviously the younger bees able to power through it.
Yes.
But Greg showing his age a little bit.
But well done, Greg. Well done. Great to see. And one of the MC was saying that there's a regular climber that they know who's out and about, at the age of 82 or something. So well done for Greg, and for those sitting at home thinking, oh yeah, well maybe I'm over the hill. Well, no, you're not. Get out and about. Climbing is for anyone at any time. We do have our next female master, not male master, but female master, Peggy KO. Peggy did quite well actually in the qualifiers, getting a couple of tops.
Yeah, it's good. I think this might be one of Peggy's first competitions.
Is that right?
Yeah, she's a regular at the gym here, but I don't know if she's really competed before, so she's doing quite well for herself.
Well, she'll know the sort of the lay of the land, really, the nooks and crannies of the angles on the wall at least. And maybe even familiar with your setting then as well. So, you never know. Might give her that slight advantage.
Indeed, and I mean, she'd also be very familiar with all the holds up on the wall.
Yes.
Not too many new ones for the competition, but there is a few.
Well, and sometimes that plays into it, doesn't it? Really, at the end of the day, there are lots of hold manufacturers, but there's some common holds in the gyms, and if you're familiar with them, it's maybe the more you climb, the better off you're going to be too. At the end of the day, if you're a bit more familiar with each hold.
Yeah, I mean, it can definitely be reassuring if you know the next hold you're going to grab has a really big in-cut, or if you know that it looks good, but it's actually going to be a massive sloper.
Certainly, some of the tricks that the route setters try to play, I'm quite sure, to give the climbers a bit of a hard time of it, but that's all part of the process, especially when it comes to climbing competitions, folks. Peggy making pretty good progress to this point, at least, and at the moment, these next couple of holds. Just a bit of a foot bump miss there. So, bit of a bugger for Peggy. We haven't seen a chop yet, but I think we saw Janelle probably get the high point just a moment ago. But we've got two strong climbers that you said Zach might perform pretty nicely, which Emily and Tina still to come.
Yeah, well, if anyone's going to top it, it'll be one of them.
One of those two. All right, but next on the wall from the men's masters is Peter Waldeck. And Peter did all right actually in the qualifiers. He got one top and fell off the second. But let's see how he goes with this one. We will have the presentations a little bit later on, folks. We're going to have presentations and podiums probably around about 5 o'clock. I think we're running pretty well on time, actually. It might even be a bit earlier than that. Competition going to plan. Started a bit later this morning, but we should be finishing well before 5 o'clock, I would expect, this afternoon, with only 2 more in the male or 4 more on the male masters to go and 2 more in the master female to go. So we shall see, but Peter doing pretty nicely so far. And looks like we might have Emily out now on the Masters female. Getting ready, getting ready. Getting the last few tips from the from the judges and the team. You can ask a few questions before you leave as well, can't you? Yep.
Yep. Yeah. You can clarify any points that you need to. For Emily, she's
come on, Peter. Oh. I think he got himself in a good position there, but just a little bit of a foot slip. So no top for Peter, and we're about to see Emily.
Yeah, Emily's going to want to save her energy. She's competing in the Open A's tomorrow as well.
Is that right?
Yep.
Well, there you go. You can double up. You can do the Masters and the Open A's. Well, all right. Well, this is a bit of a warm-up for Emily. Let's see how we go. It'd be great to see maybe a top or a little bit higher finish on this females final climb today. All right. Everyone quietly holding their breath, wanting to see what lays ahead or above the high point.
It would be really nice to see her get onto that head wall and get the show of that top sequence. It's very cool.
This is a bit of a lower crux. You got a bit of a double crux in the climb. One a bit lower and one a bit higher.
Yeah, I don't think we expected it to be quite this hard for them to get through here. Certainly wasn't the plan, but seems like, yeah, that's quite the struggle here and higher up, so that's good.
Well, here's where the work begins.
Yes.
And was that the preferred sequence, the cross through in that way? I mean, it could look like it could be done a couple of different ways there, but that looked like the more comfortable way to do it.
Yeah, that's definitely the more static sequence, the way that I would probably climb it. But it's a matter of, personal comfort and style. But definitely been waiting for someone to use the volume like that.
Yep. Well, we now have our next master male out, and that's Paul Finch getting ready, getting himself a little bit calmed down and maybe psyched up at the same time, if that's actually even possible. But here we go, Emily making some great progress and about to turn that lip, which is good. All right, folks, here we go. Exciting times. Hopefully a few more moves away and she'll be up and away. Looking rather strong. And I saw these ones up high too, folks. This next hold up is not as good as you want it to be. But Emily only moments away. I don't want to kibosh it too much, but she's looking very strong and very in control. No shakes or pumps going just yet, but we shall see one more move to the top. Oh, no! Oh, well, that was well done. Well done, Emily. And the crowd enjoyed that. It was great to see. Oh, well, maybe I shouldn't have said anything, folks, but that was entertaining and some great climbing there. So well done, Emily. Looks like overall the high point at this point in time, but certainly for the Masters female, Emily. Here we go, right to the top. Only one move to go. Shouldn't have said a thing. Oh, now, was that hold not as good as you want it to be at the top there, Zach? Did you guys put a sting in the tail of that one?
Not at all. It's fairly big, so you've got to get over the top of it
over the top,
but it is very deep. It's a really good hold. exactly as you want it to be.
Emily maybe just came a smidgen short on it. Damn it. Okay. Well, here we go, folks. We have Paul Finch on the wall. And climbing in socks has become a thing. Where I grew up, it wasn't a thing. And these days, climbing in socks is a thing.
I guess it's just so many people used to starting off with higher shoes. And
Yeah.
you got to not stink up the higher shoes, so you wear socks, and they just continued on with their normal shoes. Not my style either.
Makes sense. It makes sense, but I see a lot of young, strong, hard climbers with socks on, absolutely crushing. So, it doesn't seem to hamper their style or their technique. But, yeah, certainly not how I grew up.
Certainly a fashion statement.
certainly probably could save a few nostrils actually wearing a pair of socks in my climbing shoes. You can leave them outside, that's for sure. But all jokes aside, Paul's making good progress here. We've seen a few of the Masters get stuck at this section. We'll see if we can get him through. Bit precarious there, not too much on that foot, but he's feeling pretty comfortable. I'd be moving up onto the next hole if I was him, but he's got a position there, folks. He's got a bit of a drop knee squat position, which at the moment he's comfortable with. Trying to sort of shake out the pump.
Yeah, I'd be taking the rest with each foot on a hold, but he is apparently content smearing with that hard drop knee. So more power to him.
We'll see how he goes, and he's about to just get himself a little bit more prepared for the next part of this manoeuvre. Maybe he'll sort of get in the corner now, but or has he got enough pump out of his arms? We've got our final Masters female, Tina Colbier, are about to set underway. And Paul's found a bit of a different rest there as well.
Taking it easy.
Yeah, well, it's great to see. It's always amazing to see different climbers finding different body positions and doing these climbs, boulders and things in very different ways. This is certainly the high point at this moment in time with Paul. So, he's looking good, shaking out, making sure he gets a bit more blood back in there. But I'm sure Tina is underway over there as well, and looking forward to maybe seeing her get to the top. One move to beat has to be done all the way, Tina, so it's all for you to play for, and you get one shot at it. This is high stakes climbing, folks. One go, and that is it. It's called an on-site format. First time you get to climb is the first time.
Oh, no,
Paul. No, Paul.
Oh.
A technical. Oh, no. And again.
No, don't unflip, Paul. Don't. Stop. Oh, God.
Oh, no. Bit of a technical as that as well. Wow. Oh, no. Bit of a bummer there. We've had a few technicals on that one, which is disappointing for the competitors. Paul was looking in excellent shape. So there you go.
Oh, and Tina is off.
And Tina's off as well. So Tina off quite low at the moment then.
M's got it with one move short.
Yep. A good show there.
Yeah, it's nice to see someone get onto that head wall, and I mean, shows that, when keeping in mind climbers like her, it was set pretty well. Should have maybe been a bit easier lower down for some of the Open B competitors and most of the others, but just
made it
too strong for the category.
There you go. And sometimes, I mean that must be the difficulty. If you do have multi competitors across those categories. But all in all, I'm sure the climbers had a great time, and a good job by you guys. It's a difficult thing to get right over a number of categories. But in a moment, folks, we'll have our final three out. But let's go for a quick break. All right, folks, our third final climber, finishing third. The climbers come out in reverse position, so Scott Duncan finished in third position in the qualifiers. He's out now, and we'll see how he does on this pretty spectacular climb, actually. Very exciting. We had a bit of a shout out to you guys online. A few people online were like, loving the stalactite hanging from the roof. Can we come down and have a try? Shall we leave it up for the punters? It's got to come down probably for the routes tomorrow, which is a shame.
Yep, no, I'm going to grab myself a climb on it once we're finished up with these sessions, but sadly it'll have to come down this afternoon while everyone's outside getting their medals. We'll be changing over the walls for the Open A tomorrow.
Got to get it done for those guys. So well done anyway. It's been entertaining, absolutely entertaining, which has been fantastic. But right now we have Scott Duncan finishing in third for qualifiers and underway to see how he can go in these finals right now. This is his finals climb. That's, I don't even know if that's the right way to say it, but that's the way it's come out. And so far, looking comfortable enough.
Yep.
But now it's starting to get a bit serious.
There we go.
Yep. Come around that corner. Now, this is where we've seen a few of the climbers have a moment or two turning the corner. They seem, once they get around though and maybe get established over here on the opposite wall, feels a little bit easier to at least get a rest or something. But yeah, he's made that look pretty straightforward.
Yeah, looks pretty comfortable turning that corner.
Found himself that rest there. Yep. They've only got 6 minutes, folks, so you can dial into the corner there, maybe find yourself a little reasonably comfortable position to get a little bit of blood back in the legs or the toes or the fingers or the shoulders or whatever is feeling a bit tired. But it's kind of, at some point, depending on the rest, it'll end up being a zero-sum game, trying to hold the resting position, getting tired. So he's headed off to make sure he can get himself as far as he can on this one. So hopefully that technical doesn't occur again. It's caught 3 of the male competitors.
Yep, at least one of them technical in a different place, the other two. So it's
yeah,
not
it's true, isn't it? Yeah,
always the same issue.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's just a safety thing. They need to have that
the right clip
through the roof clipped.
Yeah, and you know you're under like focus right now. Yeah, you got a lot of things going on. Where am I putting my hands? Where am I putting my feet? Yes, he's got that one. So technical managed, mischief managed, as they say in Harry Potter. But Duncan wants to make sure, or Scott actually wants to make sure he gets himself across here fairly smoothly. Looking pretty good actually. And a little bit of pumpy work to do right now in the roof, where you're horizontal for a fair few moves and get yourself out onto this large hole and see if you can turn the corner, turn the lip. It's great to see. Trying to get a clip in there, maybe finding finding that hold there was quite large, but if you're looking at home facing guys, he's hanging on to something pretty big. By the time you've grabbed onto 30 or 40 holds beforehand and you've been on the wall for at least 3 or 4 minutes, it doesn't matter how big those holds are sometimes, you still fall off them. So it can get a little bit, just like that, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, this climb that yellow climb has about 40 plus moves in it.
Yep.
So quite a long route that's close to the kind of move amounts that you'll see in World Cup levels.
Usually how long? Is it a certain amount of moves, or is it the length of a wall, or is it a bit of a combination depending on where you are?
A bit of a combination, but generally you want kind of competition level to make sure that's difficult enough and you're able to get enough splits. You'll be looking at maybe 25 or so moves is towards the minimum. And then however many you want past that, depending on how you're going to split the category.
Well, Duncan, I think at this point has the high point for the Masters. We've got 2 more Masters climbers out, Masters male. We've got Tui Lahui and Duncan Steele. So Scott at the high point, but 2 more to go. And hopefully in the style of how they're finished, you might see more progression from each of these next 2 climbers, but we're yet to see. It's always comes down to how you perform on the spot or on the moment when it comes to your climb. The judge is just making sure he knows what's going on. And Tui about to do his final climb. He is on the Sports Climbing Queensland board as well. Long-time climber. And so I'm told, extremely reliable fellow. So there you go, a little bit of background on Tui, but let's see, it's all about his climbing right now. And see if he can make it work for his finals climb.
Seems comfortable enough going into it at least.
Yeah, and when I saw him in the qualifiers, he climbs a little bit faster. So he's a little bit more momentum. And
yeah, I mean, he's quite assertive with his clips. Just rip it up and
let's get it done.
Snap it in there,
Yeah. Now, is there a certain way that they have to clip the clips? You know, there is you could potentially back clip them. Is that allowed because, you've got so much length in the quick draw, or?
Yeah, so within a competition setting, obviously backflips aren't good, but in a competition setting, they don't matter.
Yep.
You can backflip and continue climbing. The only thing that, in terms of flipping, that you can't do is a Z clip.
Yes, one down, one up, or the other way around. We did get a Z clip, actually. One of the competitors accidentally did that, one of the female Open B female, so.
Yep, yeah, I mean, within a competition setting, you're allowed to fix that. It's not like skipping a clip.
Yes.
So you'll just be told that you've Z-clipped and then you've got to fix it. So hopefully you know how to properly fix a Z-clip. But as long as you do that, you can keep on climbing. But it just saps your energy having to correct that mistake.
Certainly does, and the more efficient you can become in clipping, obviously, the more energy you save for the actual climbing. So,
yeah, I mean, clipping makes a huge difference over time because it's, you're taking one hand off the wall, you're removing one limb. Makes a big difference. You'll go top rope or climb, maybe it's not so bad, but then do it on lead and you'll feel that extra burn.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Tui's making good progress. He made good use of that rest there, and let's hope. I hope he's spotted the clip in the roof here. Oh, yeah, he has. The crowd getting behind him now and enjoying the view from the bottom, I'm sure. Looking quite fit and strong at this point.
Yeah, I reckon he'll get through the roof at least, and we'll see how he goes on the head wall sequence. But we'll see exactly.
We'll see. Well, we only had one top so far, a couple of technicals. They could have turned into tops, but Massimo did make a top, but I haven't seen him show up on my scoreboard just yet, so we shall see. Oh, yep, no, that's gone. That's up there now. Okay. Popped on through. So it does look like Massimo at this moment in time, folks, has taken out the Open B male, but again, Oh, come on, Tui. Foot back in the roof. Looks like he's getting a bit of a pump right now, so hopefully he's... Oh! Not enough juice in the tank there, so well done. I can't remember, but that may have been, or almost pretty close to the other high point there from Scott Duncan, so we'll see what the judges say. Can't remember exactly, and now the next holds are counted when you reach them with your hands, not your feet.
Yep.
So he had his feet further out the roof, but that wouldn't count for progress or his score. So
Yep, it's all about hand movements, and that means that when in doubt, you think you're going to fall, throw.
go for the next one.
Go for the plus.
The plus is, folks, when you're going between each of the scoring holds, if you do make a movement to the next one, then you get a plus. 21 plus, 22 plus, etc., etc. And that's a bit of strategy when it comes to scoring. Obviously, few competitions, you kind of get the lay of that and you know what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the scoring that we've got here, if that's accurate, then a plus may be making all the difference.
Yes, indeed. All right, one last climber to go, folks, for today's affair. Day one of the Sports Climbing Queensland Open Lead titles here, 2022. Waving to the crowd, Duncan waving to his fans.
He's been around a little while. He's pretty used to it.
And I hear on the grapevine Duncan has developed some pretty significant outdoor crags as well. Bit of a long time stayer in the scene of climbing in Australia. So thank you, Duncan, for that. It does take some effort to develop those outdoor crags, and great to see him still enjoying and loving what he does, which is climbing. So that's good to see. We do have another little bit of tidbit. Gregory Hall was one of our first Masters competitors. He's a Beta Boulevard director, actually, so there you go. And Scott Duncan has developed a 10-time multi-pass, folks. So very soon you'll be able to buy a multi-pass, which gives you access to the participating climbing gyms around Queensland. So keep an ear out for that on Sports Climbing Queensland's website real soon. It might even be launched this weekend. So keep an ear out on where to find that. This is our final climber on day one here, which was the Open A, Open B female, Open B male, the Masters female and the Masters male. Folks, tomorrow we will have the Open A's, male and female, and some social categories of climbing. So make sure you join us tomorrow for that one. But we're not finished yet here today. We've got one final climber, which you can see on the wall, Duncan Steele. Our final Masters in the male. And not too long after this, we will be having the presentations and podiums. But before we get to that, we want to see this one final climber. Everybody making the best wishes for Duncan. And he's enjoying himself up there. He's not under any stress or pressure. So, you know, let's see how we go. He's trying to work it out as he
I think our head setter was looking forward to seeing Duncan grab that stalactite.
And he's looking very comfortable here, so hopefully he's got enough left in the tank for this stiff section right now, or the work begins. And the roof section certainly pretty pumpy. So let's see if he's got some energy left. Looking good.
He's crossed himself up a bit, but it doesn't matter, just pulling through.
Got some strength to burn, so we'll see how he goes here. He's going to go through feet first. got himself out of that little cross-up and into some decent territory right now. 1 or 2 manoeuvres and he'll get himself to that rather large thing on the lip as he comes around. So we'll see that in a moment. But
cutting feet with comfort.
yeah, well, hopefully that doesn't. He needs to turn, doesn't he? He needs to turn his body. We've had a fair few of the climbers come out feet first and not really work out for them, but he's got the sequence right now.
Yeah, he's got himself looking comfortable again.
And clipping pretty well. Nice. Oh, the crowd's right behind him. And Duncan is in good shape right now. Now I do wonder that clip there that he's got his foot on. I just wonder if he'll remember that or realise he can use the wall behind him.
We shall see. He's climbed in the gym a few times, so he should be familiar with our routes using that as feet.
It has stumped a few of our previous competitors. I don't think he's realised that is the case.
There we go.
Hey, you beauty. All right. Come on, Duncan.
Come on. Power. Let's go.
Oh, nice work. Well done. Well, I think we've seen our winner for the male masters. So, Zach, thanks for joining us, mate. Appreciate you hanging out on the live stream, giving us your insight to the competition today, and well done with the route setting. A little bit hair-raising, but I think it's ended up fine.
Yeah.
Thanks, mate, and I'll catch you maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, maybe tomorrow. Yep.
Cheers, mate. All right, folks, there you go. It's done and dusted here for Saturday. The Open B female and masters for you today. Duncan here, you're just watching the replay of our final climber in the masters, male masters, and that at this moment in time seems to be our winner, almost there. We only saw one top today in the males climb, but a little bit of good quality climbing there from our final climber. So folks, let's have a quick look at the scores as we have them right now. The Open B female, as it stands right now, our winner is Alice Graham. Our second is Azua Stevenson, and Hannah Sides coming in third. Pretty clear winner there from Alice, so well done, Alice. Good job. Well done to all the competitors. Fantastic work. The Open B male, Massimo, topping all three of the climbs today, and well done to Massimo. Very clear winner in that section. Travis Anderson from WA coming in second, and Joshua D'Amico coming in third. You can see, folks, where on the scoring, the final point section in the red on the right, the difference between second and third was a plus, which meant that Travis made a move towards the next hold, where Joshua only held that hold. And it was a matter of a movement between them that was the deciding factor. So well done to those guys. Now we've got the Masters in male, Duncan Steele taking it out. No tops, but well done to all of those. Tui Lahoy coming in second, and in count back to qualifications, Scott Duncan coming in third, making the same high point there as well. And our Masters female winner, Emily Ames. One hold from the top, folks. Seriously, that was awesome to see. Well done, Emily. Great climbing. And Janelle Briggs coming in second, and Tina Colbier coming in third. And again, folks, the difference was in countback to the qualifiers. So hotly contested. Well done to all those competitors. Folks, stick around. We will be having the presentations in podiums not too far away, maybe between 10 and 15 minutes. We're going to leave the live stream going for the podiums, folks, so hang around. We'll leave some background music and a few videos in the meantime, but don't go away. The podiums and presentations real soon. All right, folks, don't go away. The podiums and presentations on very soon. We will be back shortly. Won't be long. Just trying to get some confirmation from the judges. No more than 10 to 15 minutes. Wait around, hang around. We'll leave a little bit of background music as we go, and maybe one or two videos from our sponsors in the meantime. But great to have all of you guys on the live stream with us today. Fantastic. Make sure you join us tomorrow. Same bat channel. We will be doing the finals tomorrow for the A's. And make sure you join us in the afternoon for that one, folks. So, all right, don't go away. The podiums and presentations real soon.
Exeter has been waiting for, and of course you, all of the spectators that come along. We've been through the whole process of checking whether everybody was okay with this, obviously, and they were, so I think it's time to just bring them on up. So first, the Open B females, that's what I'm going to start with, and I'd first like to bring up on stage Hannah Sides. Woo. So huge thank, well, firstly, let's just give it up for Hannah Sides as well. Well done, Hannah. Third place. There's your medal. Grab the pictures. So much stuff that we can give to her. All thanks to Pinnacle Sports. We got Scent as well. We've got, who else have we got? Talk to me. We got Wolf, that's the one I was trying to think of. Thank you very much. But mostly to Hannah, because I mean, my gosh, well done. And then second place, it is Asia. Asia Stevenson. So good, second place. And how exciting were her climbs, oh my gosh. The drama, it was better than F1 watching it today, so good. I said she's up there with Grosjean, the way she walked away from the incident, it's so cool. Got a big cheer for Asia. And first place. Open B females. You know what I'm going to say, don't you? It is Alice. Come on, Alice, Graham. Woo.
You're going to make me like...
Wow, look at that. It's a surprise parcel from AliExpress. It's not, it's Wolf. It's a Wolf. Ladies and gentlemen, a big cheer please for our three finalists, Open B Females 2022. Well done, girls.
All right, thanks guys, yep, get down.
Thanks, girls, get down.
I'd like to go home and sleep.
What are we doing next? Open B Male? Let's do it like that.
Yeah, let's do competition ones first, so interstaters.
Which one's that?
So that's the first three,
Okay.
and then
And then the next three.
the next three, and then Queensland. Yeah.
All right, so we've got an interesting outcome with this next particular section, the Open B Male. The first three I'm going to call up are actually the winners of the overall competition, including interstate. Are you with me? So then, after that, we'll do the Queensland ones. So let's start interstate. So this is including all the climbers here today, not necessarily Queensland. So first up, in third place, it is Josh D'Amico. There he is, there's Josh. Come on up, Josh, well done. Congratulations, all your goodies.
Thank you. It's all right.
And in second place, it is Travis Anderson. Such a great climber to watch as well. Awesome performance from Travis. This guy's going to be high on wolf drinks. So good. And the winner, interstate, Open B Male, it is Mass. Come on up, Mass. Massimo. Awesome job, well done to them. Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have a big cheer for the Open B Male interstate winners? All right, chaps, make way. Make way. We're going to get 3 more people up.
Sorry.
Go back to where you came from. No, I'm kidding. It's funny because it's true. No, not really. So next up, we've got, let me work this one out. Yes, it's the other one. Yes, can we please have a big cheer for the other Josh? Where is he? Josh is everywhere. Well done, Josh. How good are medals? Medals are so cool. They make you look really handsome. Well done. Good job, Josh. And next up, second place, Wing Chun. Not here. Oh, unfortunately, he could not be here to collect his Oscar, so on his behalf, no one has come. Does somebody want to pretend to be Wing Chun? There we go. Oh, Are we gonna cut to like a webcam of Wing Chun in bed? No, all right. Instead of that, what we'll do is we'll get the winner up. So the winner of the Open B Male Queensland finalist, it is Joel. Yeah, Joel. Woo. So Joel, if anybody asks you, you came first. All right, first, not fourth, no. That way I can say that I came 7th, not 9th for my boulder comp. So yes, we're all about that. Let's have a big cheer for these, for the Queensland finalists. Are we doing female masters or male?
Just do female, but do so there's volunteer stuff before.
Okay, so Beta Boulevard.
Beta Boulevard.
Beta. We just had an argument there. It's not, it's Beta. It's Beta Boulevard. Anyway, can we have a big cheer for Beta Boulevard? I've got one guy on my side, Michael over there. He's like, I know what you're talking about, Ian. This is the other lot, they haven't got a clue. But also, can we have a big cheer for the route setters? Oh my gosh. How amazing the route. So good. All the spectators are just frothing to get up there and give them a go. But what we will do now, I think we'll go to, let's do the female masters. There's a really important fact about the female masters right now, this year, for the first time ever. Am I correct in saying that?
In a long time.
First time in a long time, since 1482.
We've had more than 5 and more than men.
Yes, so there are more female masters competitors than there are male masters competitors. How good is that? Yeah, man. You know why that's good? 2 reasons. One, the girls are getting involved. Secondly, the pendulum's swinging, and so it should. Guys, we're going to have to endure a period where the women get to do whatever they want, and we are not allowed to complain, all right? I think that's the pendulum needs to swing. Let's have a big cheer for just girls in general. Well done, girls. Well done, women. Now let's get those finalists up here. So, this is the female masters in reverse order. 3rd place, Tina. Woo. Tina, of course, part of a power couple of climbing. And in second place, ladies and gentlemen, it's Janelle. She's shaking it. She's like, how? Second? So good, so good. So happy to see Janelle there. Not 3rd, 2nd, Janelle. Well done. And the winner of the female masters, please cheer for Emily. I think Emily will be fine carrying it. She's pretty strong.
Yeah, I'm not.
Ladies and gentlemen, a huge cheer for this historic moment. Female Masters 2022. Well done, girls. And now, the male Masters. We mentioned the power couple, didn't we? I think. Let's have a big cheer, please, for Duncan Scott, 3rd place. Oh, Ron Duncan. Okay. Scott Duncan. Easy mistake at a maker. Scott, well done. 3rd place. And next up in 2nd place, it's Tring. Oh, he's right here. Yeah, well done, Tring. Well done. And Paige, can I bring out the other Duncan now? Is that allowed?
Yes.
Thanks, cool. All right. Next up, can we please have a big cheer? The winner, male masters, it is Duncan. Yeah. Are you all right? Are you all right getting up? Are you okay? Yeah, he's all right. He's all right.
Well done, mate. Are you ready for this one? And then come back in. Yeah, there we go. Hey, nice.
Ladies and gentlemen, Male Masters 2022. Well done to the lads, well done. Thanks everybody, ever so much for everybody that did come along today. Of course, thanks to the sponsors, Pinnacle Sport, for Scent, for Wolf, for, there was one more, Tendon, that was the one for the ropes. And for Scott, isn't that a cycling thing? That's cycling, that's a different one. So thanks very much for coming along. Don't forget, tomorrow, the big dogs are coming out tomorrow. It's going to be quite exciting. What time is it starting? 9? Same? Same old, same old. Same place, same bat channel. See you then. Thank you. Good night.